African climate negotiators call for finance, unified leadership to address climate change impacts. African climate negotiators attending the meeting preceding the Second Africa Climate Summit have underscored the urgent need for finance, just transition, and unified political leadership to address the continent's growing vulnerability to climate change. Princess Abs Jigma, coordinator of the Least Developed Countries, LDCs, stressed that climate action must be backed by concrete implementation. Africa possesses vast resources, including
between bracket the 10 years of the Paris Agreement. And allow me also to recall that 10 years ago I was in Ethiopia where we adopted the Addis Ababa Agenda of Action. That was working on how we're going to finance the Sustainable Development Goals. And just last month we were in Sevilla with the commitment of Sevilla, the successor of the Addis Ababa of Action. I have the saying that it is, we shouldn't be waiting. Africa, for instance, the least developing country that I'm representing in negotiations, we do have critical minerals, we do have resources, but it's how we are going to make use of those resources that is valued as trillions, to also use them as an underlying guarantee to make sure that we implementing that. Of course, the developed countries, they need to take the lead on decarbonizing first. We're pledging for and nothing moves. So I think we need to take leadership on our side with the means that we have to make sure that we are serving our people. The importance is our people, the means of implementation, how we can get affordable financing, because you have a lot of debt, burden of debts. We can continue because already African countries, we are hit very hard by climate action, by the climate.
Evans Davin-Jua, chairperson of the LDC group at the UN Climate, stated that the gathering in Addis Ababa is not only about discussions but also mobilizing accessible climate finance that reaches affected communities.
It's to talk about how do we enhance our efforts maybe to mobilize climate finance. This climate finance must be accessible, must be mostly grant money, and must flow to the people in need so that we support those that are affected. But also, you recall that we would want our people, as we address climate change, to have, again, job creation. People must not lose their jobs because there is climate change, and they must be food secure. If we do this, we will contribute to poverty eradication and also contribute to the economic growth of our countries.
Angelina Tutua-Mensah, negotiator on response measures, gender and climate change and just transition, called for Africa's unique priorities to be reflected in global climate action.
Convention, finance is meant to be part of the implementation. As we're going along the line, the financial component of those negotiations is being put on sovereign countries, and being put on developing countries is not fair, because we've caused nothing. Our contribution to the emission is negligible. And therefore, if we need to make certain sacrifices, then we have to be compensated in various ways, including finance.
Institutional Development Advisor at the Ethiopian Ministry of Planning and Development, Mensur Desi, believes that Africa must raise bold voices and demand realistic support in the global fight against climate change.
It was adopted in 2015, now it's 2025. We elapsed about 10 years, but of course the results that we have in the 10 years have some results. Of course, we cannot deny there is no results at all in all issues, whether it be mitigation, adaptation, or even finance flows. But the question is, the ambitions that we have is not enough, and also is not matching with the challenge we are facing, the intensified challenge that we are facing due to the climate change, and the most disproportionately impacted regions such as Africa are not really enjoying the needed support that's anticipated to come into Africa. You know, Africa has a lot of solutions, a lot of resources, and also contributing a lot for the solutions that we need.
ACS2 is taking place in Ethiopia from 5 to 7 September 2025. Following this, the Second Africa Climate Summit, which aims to redefine Africa's aspirations for a climate-resilient and prosperous future, will take place from September 8 to 10th. The summit will focus on the theme, Accelerating Global Climate Solutions, Financing for Africa's Resilient and Green Development. The government of Ethiopia is co-hosting the summit with the African Union Commission, AUC.